sometimes life kicks the shit out of you enough that games are meant to be that escape and not meant to be that
Mhm.
punishment. And like, fair enough, if you're into being punished, you know, you like that kind, you like an
Yeah,
old whip and now
again,
paddle
like
about.
it's whatever your kink is, you know what I mean? Whatever
Yes,
floats your boat,
yes,
as long as it's not harming anyone else, enjoy it your way. Do you know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hello, all, and welcome to Press Any Button to Continue. Are you sick of life beating you down? Maybe your work is hitting you a bit too hard, or you just don't love your wife the way you used to, and you've come home after a great day and you just want to sit down and enjoy your old pastime and hobby, but that Dark Souls boss has killed you 100 times and you are now bald. Today is all about rectifying those matters as we're talking about easy mode in video games. Nisha, how are you doing?
That was a brilliant intro, man. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, I'm good, man. I'm good. I had a recent kind of internal struggle when it comes to difficulty levels in video
Mm-hmm.
games, which is why I think it's an interesting subject to talk about, because I was playing Star Wars Fallen Order.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the new one that's on like the PS5, yeah.
I sure do.
And I was enjoying it, really enjoying it. I was just playing it on normal level, yeah. No, I
Mm-hmm.
do enjoy trying games on hard mode and stuff as well. But the game was going on a bit, right? Like, it's not a huge game. It's like a 25-hour game, right? And I was about
Sure.
20 hours into it, but that took me months to get to because
Yeah.
I'm only getting like 2 hour windows, whatever, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I'm starting to get a bit bored here. I'm starting to get a bit bored, and I was stuck on a boss, and I was like, I don't know if I'm arsed sticking with this. I'd like to just finish the game and experience the story, right?
100%,
So
yeah.
I was like, but then I was like, oh, I don't want to drop the difficulty level because I like playing things when they're harder, and I went, fuck it, right? So it has this option where you can literally change it so that there is no challenge whatsoever,
Oh,
and you
story mode.
just, yeah, story mode. So you just experience a story.
Mm-hmm.
And Keith, man, it was fucking brilliant, right? For
Mm-hmm.
two reasons, right? For two reasons. One, I was able to finish the game I at an enjoyable pace. I still had hours to go. Even I was like, surely I'm at the end. I still had hours to go. It would have taken me another month or two if I'd have just left it the way it was, right?
Mm-hmm.
But secondly, it played into the Star Wars feel of being a Jedi because I felt like all powerful, you know?
Yeah, you felt like
And
you were actually role playing a character who's supposed to be powerful rather than the one
oh
that's
yeah,
getting killed by giant rats.
yeah, exactly that, man. I was like, I actually feel like a Jedi here. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, I'm fucking powerful, I'm strong, I'm going in, I'm absolutely milling the fucking enemies out of it. No problem at all. Your force powers are real strong. It felt like what I thought it should feel like the whole time playing
Mm-hmm.
these kind of games. Now I know obviously when you're a Jedi and when you're a Sith are more powerful, and the majority of this you're on the Jedi thing. But I was like, this is what I wanted the whole time,
Mm.
and then I just breezed through it. There was a couple of hours left, which I easily would have taken me at least a month, say,
Mm-hmm.
if I was going at the same pace that I was. I was able to finish it in like the next day, I think, and I thought it was great. It was the first time that I'd actually like I thought the game was beautiful. We discussed this before, and I was enjoying the game, but it was the first time I felt really like attached to the game. You know, like where I was really feeling it, and it was incredible. And it was all from dropping down the difficulty level to like beyond easy mode to
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
like.
yeah. No, it's an interesting one because like I oddly just watched a video on this indirectly about a video saying, are you a master or a performer? And my friend John sent it to me. It's about kind of the psychology between when you grow up, what you're told, and how you experience video games as a result.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really interesting. So like, you know, the way you'll always see videos on YouTube of someone doing like insane tricks in a game you never thought was possible. Like the average player, even who spends 100 hours in a game, would never experience this kind of gameplay loop where they're
Yeah.
flipping around, and it's like it's like Olympic level plays on some random even single player game. And then there's like the performer who's like, I like the story and I want to be entertained and I want to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? There's that, like, you know, you just want to be taken along for the ride. And there's this really interesting psychology the video talks about, that when you're growing up, they did a study on these kids, right? And they all had these puzzles. And basically the difference between them was the person directing the puzzles. If they did good, one would say, wow, you must be very smart. And the other one says, wow, you must work really hard. And it's all about how these two different things register very differently in your brain, even though they might sound very similar. For the person who hears, oh, you must be very smart, the idea that goes through their head is when they're given another puzzle, they're asked, do you want to go easier or harder? And they always choose easier because they want to maintain the image of being smart, right? So all of a sudden it's a personality that's put onto you that's perceived as an image. Where the person who says you work very hard, the satisfaction is saying, oh, I just worked very hard, so it doesn't matter whether it's easy, hard, or whatever. As long as I put effort into something, it's what matters. So the person who is told that you work very hard takes the harder puzzle, and then they're encouraged to keep going because it's not image-based. It's about performance and putting in effort and all this stuff, right? So there's this very interesting baseline of how people perceive video games and what they want out of it, right? And they've decided that none is better than the other, right? Because what happens, unfortunately, with the master is they spend all their time on one video game and never experience a multitude of different games and experiences and everything else, right? Where the performer, never goes too deep into one thing and they experience a lot of things. Do you know what I mean? So there's a very interesting kind of caveat there. And then I'd add my own one onto it, which is kind of like whether you're neurotypical or neurospicy. So for instance, you could be a mixture of both, where it's like a case of, if you have like ADHD and you find something that interests you, you would hyper focus on it still, but you could still be in the performer category. So this all relates to difficulty levels, because quite often, if you're in kind of the more performer elements, you might just enjoy wanting to experience the game after a hard day's work and not crucify yourself and embrace the art and the story. Do you know what I mean? And it can also just depend on your brain as well. But I thought that was super, super interesting. It's well worth watching. It's Are You a Master or Are You a Performer? If you just YouTube that, you'll find it.
I'll definitely look it up, because I remember seeing a couple of videos, a similar thing on parenting, right? So saying to your kid, if they draw a picture, right, and it's, oh, that's brilliant, you're the best artist in the world, or is it, oh, did you work really hard? It's the similar kind of thing, and how it
definitely
can kind of resonate different feelings with constantly just saying, oh, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, or saying how do you feel about it? Did you work really hard in that? And they're like, yeah, I worked really hard, I'm proud of what I did and stuff like that, And I'm not saying one is better than the other.
Like the video made a good point that they said that don't blame your teachers if they said you were smart and said you work hard. It's just it's just two different avenues. But go on.
Yeah, no, it's just something that I remember. And now I'm not even going to discuss about how my parenting styles might differ from other parenting styles, because it's nobody's fucking business. It's not my business how anyone else parents their people. But
absolutely,
I just thought it was a very interesting thing, that the difference between being told, oh, that's brilliant, you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, regardless of what it was you have done or created, to being asked, how do you feel about it? Did you work really hard? Are you satisfied with what you've done? Because then it doesn't matter what you've done has ended up like. I don't want to get into parenting, but that's exactly what you're talking
subsidy.
about. Yeah, it's exactly
100%.
what you're talking about. But I'm definitely going to watch that video, because that kind of thing does interest me. That process of how you kind of not reward somebody for their work, but how you go about seeing how they feel about their work.
I think the biggest discussion that comes when you talk about easy mode is, for me personally, right? Recently, I've been playing a lot of things on easy mode, especially on stream, because stream, it's very easy to get distracted. If I get stuck on something for too long, it kind of kills my flow a little bit of entertaining as well. So I played Resident Evil 3 Remake recently. It was on Game Pass, and I played it on easy mode, and I loved it. I finished it in 6 hours. I got to experience the whole game. And I'd prefer to experience the whole game than rage quit halfway through a game. This is kind of my main feeling on it. And I also think the big problem with perception of people playing games on easy is there's a weird gatekeeping element of oh, you're not experiencing the game or whatever, right? And I will say there's certain games where the difficulty is kind of mandatory, right? It is the point. I would look at something like Dark Souls and say there isn't much actually, the enjoyment of that game is about slowly figuring out the right times to do something, because there actually isn't much of a game outside it, if you get me.
Yeah.
Like, the point is the difficulty in certain games, do you know? But when it's
Yeah.
a game that's like a very story based game, like, you know, if I'm going to play Uncharted 4, like, it's a cinematic roller coaster movie. And if I want to relax and play it, I'm not going to like try it on the hard difficulties unless I'm really achievement hunting for that little serotonin buzz. I just want to, you know, sit back and relax and enjoy it. You know, it's a movie practically.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Um, yeah, so I think it's interesting people's perceived ideas of easy mode.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I definitely think about the gatekeeping aspect of it, because
Hmm.
there is that kind of thing of, like, it's almost taboo to switch down to easy mode. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, I've had a few conversations about this over the years with my friend Kieran. I don't know if you remember, Kieran took
Hmm.
photos for us out at
I do,
Gamerfest
yeah,
that
yeah.
time.
He was a
Yeah,
sound lad.
so Kieran's into video games, and he enjoys playing things on easy mode. And like me and him have kind of talked about it in the past. I'm like, you play games whatever way you want to play them. It's
Hmm.
You're the one who's playing it. Fuck everyone else and what their opinions are on it. It's you play it how you want to enjoy it. And like, easy mode wouldn't be implemented into a game if the creator of that game didn't want people to play it that way, or to
Yeah,
give people
100%.
that options. So that plays into what you with Dark Souls, what you
Yeah,
were saying about,
100%.
like,
It
it's
doesn't
meant to be
exist.
hard. Yeah, they want it to be hard because
Hmm.
that's how the game is meant to be played. Uncharted, if Naughty Dog didn't want you to have easy mode, it wouldn't be there. So
Hmm.
they feel like that's an appropriate way for anyone to experience that game. So it's there, and it means it's accessible for everyone. So yeah, I think definitely there is this gatekeeping thing of, I play it on extreme mode. And look, I do enjoy playing difficult games, and I enjoy playing games on a difficulty level. But it depends on the game, and it depends on the mood that I'm in.
Yeah, it
Like,
depends on where you are in your life too. Like, it's very easy
100%, yeah.
to want to be a master of everything once you're, you know, a teenager and you've nothing else to do with your day. But, you know,
Yeah.
if you have like multiple responsibilities, like, this all boils down to, again, like, do you want to enjoy the game at all or not play it at all? You
Yes.
know, like,
Yeah.
it goes into that kind of realm of it too. And I think as
That's
well, sorry, go on.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say that's where I was at with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, do I experience the rest of this game and enjoy it, or do I just struggle for a while and end up just not finishing the game? That's exactly where I was at.
Well, it's funny you mention it because I played the first Star Wars. What the first one was called? Jedi Survivor or Fallen Order? Which one was which?
I think Jedi Survivor, I think, was the first one. I think Fallen
Yeah,
Order
so
was
the
the
first one, I
second one.
played that game on easy mode because I knew it was a Dark
Cool.
Souls S type game, and I played through it and I loved it. There's so many games off the top of my head that I can think I played in easy mode and I loved it. There's certain
Hmm.
games that I hold sacred and I just play them on normal. Like, you know, if the new Last of Us
Yeah.
comes out, I'll play it on normal because I kind of want to see what the main streamlined intention is. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I almost never, the only reason I go on hard mode these days is for like certain achievement hunting. Like, I like playing Halo Legendary co-op because it's a really funny, insane, hysterical type of thing to do with a friend. Do you know what I mean? It's like, this
Right.
is impossible, and it's like the tenacity of doing it is quite funny. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think other than that, like, I don't know, some of my favorite games I've played in the last 5 years have been, and now these do tend to obviously be just on story beats. Like, obviously multiplayer games are never going to come into this because at the end of the day you're facing other people, so you just have to get good or
Yeah.
you will
Yeah.
have a bad time, right? Like, if you're going to die
True.
all the time.
True.
But
True.
you know, there's your sacred space where you want to relax. I think easy mode, you know, and think about it, right? Like, we use video games to escape, and let's say
Hmm.
life is beating the shit out of you. The escapism surely is not to get the shit beaten out of you again. Maybe sometimes you just want to relax
Absolutely,
and
man.
enjoy
Yeah.
yourself. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And of course, the argument could be made on the other side. If you're a master and you enjoy the hard work, you know, it is all about like, well, my enjoyment is I escape into trying my best at something, and that's cool too. Do you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm not gatekeeping people playing on hard either. Do you know?
Yeah, 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 true. Yeah, it's like, I think it does. It all boils down to play it your way. You're
Mm-hmm.
the one who's playing it. Like, it realistically, it matters nothing what anyone else's opinion is on it, unless it's someone's opinion you find valid. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but
Mm-hmm.
realistically, I think it comes like fair. Like, if me and you were having a conversation and you're like, man, you need to play The Last of Us on hard. I played it. I loved it. I know you're gonna love it. Like, fair enough, that conversation between friends. But anyone else, it doesn't really matter. It's all down to you and what you
Mm-hmm.
want to do. And like you said, sometimes life kicks the shit out of you enough that games are meant to be that escape and not meant to be that
Hmm.
punishment. And like, fair enough, you're into being punished, you know, you like that kind, you like an
Yeah,
old whipping
again,
out,
again,
paddling
like
about.
it's whatever your kink is, you know what I mean? Whatever
Yes,
floats your boat,
yes.
as long as it's not harming anyone else, enjoy it your way. Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah. But I think it's funny that like old school games, man, are notorious for just being insanely difficult. Like you go back to the Nintendo NES days, and them games, man, fucking like ghouls and ghosts, or ghosts and goblins, super ghouls and ghosts, that kind of thing. Like those games are relentless. I don't know if you ever played Contra, which is an NES game. There's Contra 1,
Oh,
2,
I
and
have, yeah.
3, I think, yeah. Like, man, like I can't get past like the
Side-scrolling
first
shoot 'em
like
up
two
co-op game. Yeah, yeah.
like first level, that's it. Like some of these NES games that I had as a kid, I thought they only had one level because that's all I ever could. That's all I could
Hmm.
ever play. I could never like battle toads, anything like that. They're all insanely difficult. Now, from what I understand, and I think we've touched on this before, games back then were intentionally made difficult to prevent people renting them from a video shop and
Hmm.
return and beating them on the weekend and then returning them. So they purposely made them more difficult, kind of the way arcade games are difficult on purpose to make you spend more money. It's not, if
Hmm.
it's an easy game, you're only going to spend a quarter or whatever it was back then, and you're going to complete it. They want you to be pumping money in. And the same with NES games, they wanted you to buy it, not rent it. So they were intentionally made very, very difficult. And that meant a lot of people getting very, very good at certain games. And I think it's a funny contrast to now how you can have games that are like even take Star Wars, right? Super Star Wars on the Super Nintendo. There's three of them. I have the first one, I think it is, and I think I can get to like the third level. It's mad difficult, yeah, mad
Hmm.
difficult. So that's the Super Nintendo. Then we get to modern Star Wars, and it's story mode, and I quite like that because it gives the option for anyone to play it. Like, you know,
Hmm.
any Star Wars fan. Whereas when I was a kid playing Super Star Wars, I'd be like crying after half an hour because I'm like, I can't get
Yeah.
past the first level. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there's an interesting byproduct of that though, right? Because those games had as you said, a design in mind that they wanted money, so they didn't actually overly care about the end user's experience. They were trying to
Yeah.
say like, what's enough to give them that they'll keep paying for it, right? So,
Yeah.
so if you think about the purpose of video games back in those days, they actually had nefarious intentions of how the game was made. There wasn't a true artistry behind what we think the player should enjoy because, you know, back then people rarely just bought a full game and had it to themselves at home. Well, they did, like, but arcades were mostly where people got to try and out a game, essentially.
Yeah, true.
But then there's the opposite end of the coin that happened, and it's parallel to easy mode. It's being spoon fed in video games, right? And what I mean by this is, as games have evolved, sometimes like they treat you like you're kind of an idiot, or there's no exploration at all. You know, like sometimes there's a case of, you know, tutorials are like way too handholdy. Do you know what I mean? And that can actually, I think, take you out of a game too a little bit. You know, where it's like it could be a game that encourages exploration, but it keeps telling you exactly where to go with, you know, like, you know, there's like
Yeah.
1,000 markers and there's, you know, press A popping up anytime you come over a fence. So you're like, I know, I've jumped 100 fences. Why does this keep happening? Do you know? And it's kind of like, there's a level of, and the reason I say it's parallel to easy mode because it's not about making the game easier. It's about thinking that you have the memory of a goldfish and that you keep forgetting what the A button does after 10 hours into a game kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That I think can like go in the overboard direction as well. I think when it
True.
comes to easy mode, and certain games are interesting because sometimes it's, would you like easy mode on the puzzles, the combat, the
Yeah.
traversal? You know, like there's some games really have this accessibility. And I think that's
Mhm.
another great topic to add in because separate to easy mode, it doesn't really relate, but accessibility for people of all disabilities,
Yeah.
do you know that they can be part of it too and enjoy it? Do you know, whether it's, you know, added visual features, added sound features, added rumble features, or different controllers and stuff like that is a really cool accessibility option. I think the more accessibility in video games is incredible. But then there, as I said, is there's accessibility, to enable people, and then there's spoon feeding. Do you know what I mean? Which is insulting to anyone. And it's funny how video games started off being like, we're going to tell you fucking nothing, and it's the most impossible thing to figure out in the world. Like, I was playing a game called Digimon World recently, which is like, I had a YouTube video on it like a year ago or something. And you just don't have a clue what to do. It's like a Tamagotchi simulator, but like with Digimon, and you traverse the world and you fight people. It's like an advanced Pokemon. You basically, every time I digivolved my Digimon, it turned into literally a pile of shit. Like, I mean, a literal poop. It's like, I was like, why is this happening? But now it's kind of just like, you know, it can go the other direction too, I think.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember getting me and Aiden, or me and my older brother, renting a Super Nintendo game, right? I think it was Mario's Missing or something like that. And we were like, we don't know what to fucking do. We have no clue what to do. We had no manual with the game. And remember, we couldn't like get out of the first area of the game. And it's like that, like the Digimon game, we're saying you don't know what to do. It's like, I had nothing. Like, well, I think we rented it one weekend, and then we ended up playing our old games and then just bringing the fucking thing back, because we were like, we don't know what to fucking do here. Like, it's too difficult, but there's no guidance whatsoever. It weren't even not spoon feeding us, not just drip feeding us. There was nothing, man, nothing. And it's mad that
you were starving Marvin out in the streets for 10 years.
Like it's mad of all the games that I remember renting over the years. I don't remember a lot of the specific rentals. That one in particular, I remember, because I just remember us sitting there being like, what the fuck? What the fuck do we do here with this game?
What travesty is this? At least you remember that so fondly in a way, though, because you were so probably like, this is, we wasted our money. Like, what is this?
Absolutely. No, it is. It's a fond memory for sure, even though we didn't get to experience the game. It was just... Tell me.
Do you have any other games off the top of your head that you'd recommend to someone that is enhanced by being on easy mode? That an experience you had outside that Star Wars game, where there's another game you played on easy mode and you said, maybe if you didn't like that game the first time, I would recommend it on easy mode. Is there anything? Because I have a few in my head, but I'm curious.
I can't think of ones right now. I should, but I do remember, right, one of my friends, Dan, is a big Final Fantasy VII fan, right? Huge. So he played it when it first came out as a kid, and he wanted to play it again recently, right? And I remember him telling me that, I think he bought it on the PS3 store or whatever, right? And there was an option on it where you could turn off all random encounters, right? You make your walking really fast.
Oh yeah. This is the digital version that you can download on like the PS4 and Xbox One. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And then every hit was like 9,999. And basically, so you could turn everything down to 0, you could traverse a bit quicker, and he was like, I just got to experience the game.
Yeah, he removed the grind. The grind is what you call it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because he was like, look, I didn't have the time for it. And he said he absolutely loved it. And that was one of the big reasons why I wanted to attempt to play the game itself, because he was like, this game is so incredible. And what made it so enjoyable for him was taking out any kind of effort like that, and just.
It's funny you say that, because old friend Richard of the podcast, Old Stock, he did the exact same thing. He downloaded the Final Fantasy collection, and they all have that feature. And he said he did it for all of them, and he loved it.
Yeah, 100%.
He just got to enjoy the game, because he knows at this age of his life, recently having a kid, he doesn't have 100 hours per game to put in on the grindiness of it, and would just love to know the story, love to know the characters. Yeah. And that's great, and you still feel immersed in it because you are controlling them. Do you know what I mean? I personally probably like something in between, where it's like I can turn off random encounters, but maybe the battles are still lightly challenging or something. But still, regardless, it's great. I have a beautiful Pokemon example of that, actually. Cool. And it's not quite a game mode, but I think the best way to play Pokemon Red and Blue is playing Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee on the Switch. I think they are the definitive versions of those games.
Yeah. That's interesting. And because they are very easy. Yeah, I've played Hey You, Pikachu, or whatever it's called.
It's just about removing the random encounters so you can physically see the Pokemon.
Yeah.
running around. Not that red and blue is hard, but it's grindy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's like you go through a
it's a
bat and there's a
challenge,
million
alright, yeah.
Zubats that piss you off or whatever. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. No, it can be
So
difficult,
it
yeah.
removes the grind, which I think is
Mhm.
nice. And whether that's easier or harder, I think it's just about you know what it's called? It's called artificial padding. There's many games that have this thing called artificial padding where it's like getting from A to B should be walking up 5 steps, but for some reason you keep falling on every step. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. You're right. It's like adding unnecessary bits into traversal, like random encounters that are ramped up to a fucking million. It's like every step, and it's a random encounter, random encounter, random encounter. That shit, like going through the caves in Pokemon. Remember going through the caves in Pokemon Red and Blue, man? And you're like every step, and you're like, you're like, fuck it, will you
Yeah.
fuck off?
That's what I was saying with the
You're a
Zubats in
fucking
the cave.
Geodude. Fuck off, Zubat. Yeah, 100%, man. And what did you think of? So you think Hey You Pikachu, or sorry, Let's Go. Which one? I can't remember.
Let's go Pikachu and let's go Eevee.
Pikachu and Eevee. Yeah. Do you think they're would you prefer? Here's the question: that over Pokemon Blue, or is it a mood thing?
Like for nostalgia, I would prefer it on Game Boy, but I think to actually just to enjoy it like fully, I do think, because what happens is I love what they do in that game where if you catch multiple Pidgeys, you can basically grind them into a blender to make a Pidgey candy so you can level up the Pidgey you have. And I think that's genius because, it encourages you to continue catching Pokemon you already have, number one. And it gives you like a nice gameplay loop. And it has the catching mechanics, instead of battling them, you're kind of throwing a Pokeball at them. And if you have the Pokeball controller, that's pretty fun. But you don't need it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do find, because it adds the Pokemon Go catching mechanics from the mobile game into it. And then you can also see all the Pokemon running around. Plus, you can have any Pokemon to be ride around with you on the map, which is very immersive for me. Like, you can ride a Rapidash through all the towns and cities. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah.
So I personally think Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu is my favorite Pokemon game I've played in the last forever.
Interesting, yeah. I do remember playing it, and I do remember thinking that was a very fun game. I really enjoyed it. I do remember thinking it was very, very easy, but then that also totally made sense for the kind of the demographic that game might be appealing towards on the Switch.
Is it easier? Like, here's the thing though. Like, maybe it is, I actually don't know. Is it easier than Red and Blue, or is it just way less grindy? Because like another thing they changed was, in Red and Blue you'd fight fucking Caterpillar Joey, and he has 9 Caterpie somehow on a 6-person team, and you have to fight all of them. Where in this game they just removed it to 1 or 2 as well. So like they took out so much of the grind. That's what I'm curious about. Like, is it just like shorter and less grindy, or was it actually easier? Maybe it was actually easier. I don't know.
Possibly it was just the grind level was removed. Because when there's no need to grind, you're at the step that you're grinding towards getting to. So
yes,
which
you don't need to level up as much or whatever because there's not that
you're
opportunity to do it.
I hadn't thought about it that way. I don't know what the answer is to whether is it easier or is it just less grindy. I actually don't know what the.
That's the thing too, because at the end of the day, aren't RPGs just all about grinding, and it would be easier? So, like for instance, if you're in Final Fantasy and you spend 1 year of your entire life leveling up in the first area, and you're level 100, the rest of the game will be hyper easy. You won't even have to look at the screen.
Yeah, fuck. I haven't thought about it like that. I love when you get your perspective changed on something very completely, because now I'm like, is it just the grind that makes it difficult? Because realistically with Pokemon, like you get to the Elite Four and you're fighting a fucking Dugong level 55 or something. Like once you have something that's above level 55, there's not really anything difficult. You just use the appropriate Pokemon that's good against whatever it is, water or ice.
Yeah, or someone just trades you a level 100 Raticate and it will just go through anything anyway.
And it just mills everyone, and it doesn't matter what Pokemon it is. That's really interesting. I can't believe I've never thought about it that way.
So grinding in RPGs, if you overgrind, turns it into easy mode, where non-RPG games, their difficulty is just the difficulty, really, isn't it?
Yeah, true. That's a good one. I like that one, man, because it's making me think, because I can't make sense of what the answer should be. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I think is a perfect game for that? Like, just it's like approach to open world design and kind of the difficulty and the not hand holding. Like, I have a very good example of a game that, like, I think is very balanced on all areas is
Right.
Breath of the Wild.
Hmm. Breath of the Wild. Was it difficult? Was it hard?
It definitely has difficult parts, but it's a game where, like, you can explore up, down, left, right at any time you want in your own pace. And you can sit down, and if you ever get frustrated at any part of it, you can just go in an opposite direction and explore a new town
True.
or a village and kind of...
True.
You can take it's like the bosses are hard and some parts are
Yeah.
hard, but you can take it at your pace and
Yeah,
always have
actually,
fun.
yes, that is a very good point because, like, I remember a couple of times, I remember walking and there was this, like, spider robot thing that had, like, a laser eye and it
Oh,
just
yeah.
fucking, like,
So
destroyed,
hard.
just milled me out of it. And I was
Mhm.
like, when I came back, then I was like, well, I'm not going that way.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go
So you have a
somewhere
choice.
else. Yeah, or else you find like, they had, like, the minotaurs, the, like, horse people.
Hmm.
And they're, like, mad fucking powerful on top of a mountain or something like that. I remember,
Hmm.
like, trying to fight one or two of them, and they just fucking absolutely annihilated me. And I was like, well, I'm not going back there.
Yeah,
But I
right.
could,
So,
if I wanted to challenge myself and make it more difficult, I could, or else I could just walk around the mountain and
but isn't it
take the easier
amazing that
route.
that is a game that inherently
Yeah.
allows you to switch between master and performer whenever you
Yes.
want?
Yes, that is, again, man, that is a really, really good point because there's difficulty levels built into the game, but you don't change. It's just you pick the route, whatever
Hmm.
suits you. So you can, like you were saying earlier on, like, you want some things to be harder in different aspects, say the battles maybe, but less grindy. And it's like you can, with Zelda, with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, to be fair, you can do it. So you can go and fight these mad, difficult bosses, or else you can just walk around the mountain and not fight them.
Yeah. It's like, it's so interesting, isn't it? Like, it rewards all play styles.
Yeah, 100%. And that just stands the absolute, like,
Shoulders of men.
yeah. No, but just how incredible those two games are. Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean? And why they're so good. Because I suppose if you think back to other Zelda games, you kind of have to go through,
Yeah,
like,
it's linear.
yeah, like, it seems open world, but there is a
Yeah.
path that must be taken because
It feels
you
like an
have to
open
get
world
certain
adventure, but
yeah, there's
yeah.
certain weapons you need that you can't, like, you'll have to
Hmm.
do one dungeon to get the grapple hook to complete another dungeon. You can't do that one before that one. Do you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So it is kind of linear, whereas that's completely open. Now, obviously, you do have to grind a bit because you have to have a certain amount of hearts, or else you don't, and you ever see people, like, just complete it on nothing, like, zero damage.
Hmm.
Which is just an incredible. But that again is a difficult thing. Like, that's a
There's
really, I never thought
certain
about it.
there's certain games as well which are, like, notorious for, like, you're supposed to go up their difficulty levels, and what I mean by that is, like, Guitar Hero or something. Like, you take that game and you start it on easy mode till you get used to it, and you move to medium. Like, you're supposed to actually switch the difficulty levels over time.
Yeah.
Because it's about Guitar Hero, right? Like, it's less notes to more notes to lots of notes kind of thing.
Yeah. True. And a very fun game to challenge yourself. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that like those kind of games work really well with, like, open the challenge. It kind of,
Mm-hmm.
it, like, yeah, it feels like you've accomplished more in the game. I think maybe. From upping it a bit more, but it's again, nevertheless, it's very accessible. So
A
yeah, that's a very good point.
story I have that I would like to share with the audience that I think is a good lesson
Hmm.
about easy mode is there are some games that I played that were, they're renowned as some of the greatest games in the world. Like, we're talking, top 10 of every list. And I just couldn't get into one particular game where easy mode changed my mind on it and I agreed with everyone. It took me I had 2 goes. I spent 5 hours in this game in both separate times, and I couldn't get into it. And on the
Right.
third go, I switched to easy mode, and it allowed me that extra wiggle room to immerse myself into it. And it flipped my whole perception, and it changed my whole life experience on the game. And I, to this day, think it's one of the greatest games ever made because of easy mode, though.
Right.
And that was
Right.
The Witcher 3.
Ah. Yeah. I couldn't get into The Witcher, man. I
Mm-hmm.
like you. I tried it twice. I think I did 2 10-hour kind of shifts on it, if you will. like
Mm-hmm.
maybe a year or two apart from each other, and it just, I don't know if it was the difficulty. I think it was just the size of the game was just so daunting.
But what I'm saying though, when you
Mm,
remove a layer of difficulty, even if it's not that hard, because
right,
I'm not saying normal on Witcher is that hard or anything, but
right,
there is a bit like, oh, you need to use certain magic spells against certain beasts and certain potions you
yeah,
need to make and crap. Like it removes a little bit of that and it makes it
yeah.
way less overwhelming. And all of a sudden,
Mm.
then you can start focusing on the world and the characters and the great writing. Do you know?
That's fucking Jesus, man. I hadn't thought about that because, like, the reason I went back to that game is because, it's notorious for being an
Mm-hmm.
incredible game, and I wanted to experience it. That's a fucking. I'm gonna have to play The Witcher again on easy mode, man.
Have you finished Star Wars?
Fuck. Yeah, yeah. I just finished it, yeah, and I'm kind of in
Turn on
between
The
it.
Witcher and play it on
Mm.
whatever the easiest mode is. If there's a story mode, play it on that. And
Yeah, yeah.
for next podcast, would you have time to do it, you think, to play a little bit here and there? Would you set it up
Yes,
as your
yes.
game?
No, I
And if you
would.
put it
Yeah, I would.
now,
Yeah,
if the thing is you play, like, I think the minimum you'd have to say is you'd have to play for a minimum of 7 hours over, say, the
yeah.
next week and a half, right?
That's probably doable. I'd say. Yeah,
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 just so we'd know. And if you don't like it, then stop playing it. And if you do continue liking it, it will be a crazy experiment to the power of easy mode and why it should be
yeah.
in games.
Oh, I will. I will. I'm gonna play it, and I'll play it on easy mode, 100%. Because that has really intrigued me, and I can't believe I never put, I can't believe I never connected the dots with that, because, like, when I was telling my friend Dan did it with Final Fantasy 7 and he loved it, and I was like, why didn't I think to do it? The same with Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's not that it was too difficult for me. It was more so the scope of the game
Mm-hmm.
that I was like, I actually fucking, I can't do this. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's a really good point. I'll play The Witcher 3 because uh, I've I've always wanted to experience the game because of how good it is. But also, what difficult games can do is promote businesses like streaming and watching Let's Players, because
Mm-hmm.
some people want to experience the game and be like, I'm just gonna watch somebody do it, and
Mm-hmm.
they'll play through it. They might be like, they'll be good at it. It's less effort on my end as the consumer, say, or the viewer,
Sure.
which I think is also another interesting thing, because it kind of breeds the. It's like, you're sitting there watching your friends play games.
Mm-hmm.
They could be really good at a game, and you're like, I want to watch someone play at a high level here. And it kind of promotes streaming and YouTube, doesn't it? Let's plays and
It,
stuff
it,
like
it,
that.
it promotes a genre.
Yeah.
100%. Do you know what I mean?
Mm,
I have a super interesting question that just came into my mind, right?
right.
Because I was just thinking, I was like, Jesus, a lot of games past a certain time didn't have a difficulty choice. What was the
Mm.
first game to ever introduce difficulty levels?
Ooh, I really don't know.
Wanna have a
Um,
look?
yeah, yeah, go for it. Yeah, yeah. I remember things like, so the original Super Mario Bros. Right, Super Mario Bros. One,
Mm-hmm.
2, and 3. Right, there was no save function, and then when Super Mario All Stars came out on the Super Nintendo, it added a save feature, which in turn made it, not that it made it more easy, but it
Mm-hmm.
was way easier to complete it, because you could turn it off and come back to it, and turn it off and come
Well,
back to it.
a
Do you know what I mean?
side note too, like, we talk about what about the semi-cheating easy mode. So, like, for instance, there's cheats in video games, which is a whole. Have we ever talked
Yeah.
about cheats? We have. We
Fuck.
have.
Have we?
Yeah, yeah. The first two
This is gonna be
episodes of
another
season
GameCube
3 was
moment
like,
here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But like, rewinding on the Switch, NES, and SNES games is a
Yes.
godsend. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it is. Yeah, yeah. Fucking right, it is. Yeah.
Now, I have the
Uh,
answer for you. Thanks to,
Go
what
on.
I love lately is AI Google. Do you know the way now when you Google something, like, there's an AI overview that kind of like compilates the answers for you together, which is very cool.
Is there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's okay.
Oh
I know.
shit.
Nisha could barely turn on his phone today, lads. Don't worry.
We knock you at 3310 with the charge from me.
Oh, fuck.
So what's the game? What's the first game?
The first video game to introduce difficulty settings offering easy, normal, and hard modes was Adventure from 1980. While some earlier
Fuck.
games had different difficulty options, this specific categorization is considered pivotal moment in game design.
Oh my god, that's crazy. 1980, way back then. Do me a favor. Will you Google What was the first Nintendo game?
I'm sorry. I just in my head saying. I can't even say it on the podcast, so I'm just gonna. What do you want? What do you want me to Google?
Will you Google what is what is the first Nintendo game to implement a fucking easy? Oh, fuck's sake. I'm so old.
No, it's not even that, man. It's just there's so many sentences that can be finished here. Will you Google
Oh, yeah.
what is the first Nintendo game to introduce difficulty levels or easy mode?
Yeah,
Easy mode.
yeah, difficulty levels. Yeah, see what it says. If
The
you-
first Nintendo game. See, this is seriously, man. AI Google is so much better than normal Google. It's crazy.
right.
It basically like uses AI to compilate an answer based on multiple different answers. That gives you like the most accurate answer. It's very cool.
Okay.
The first Nintendo game to introduce an easy mode is widely considered to be the new Super Mario Bros. U DX. This game offered 2 difficulty settings, including easy mode, allowing players to more easily progress through the game. The game also introduced a easiest mode with Nabbit catering even more casual players. While other Nintendo
Way.
games might have features that make the game easier, like unlimited lives or power-ups, easy mode has a distinct selectable difficulty. Is a feature that was first introduced in New Super Mario Bros. U. Are we saying New Super Mario
Is
Bros.
that-
U is like the Wii U game?
Is that's what I'm thinking. Like, surely it is, because when did you
Yeah.
didn't come into the vocabulary of Nintendo
Yeah,
until
it is.
the Wii
It's
U?
the Wii U game moved to the
Holy
Switch, right?
shit!
Because it's the deluxe version.
Yeah,
So Nintendo, an official
maybe
first
that's
party
just
in a
first-
Nintendo game
yeah,
is what
maybe
they
it's
mean,
just
obviously,
first
not
party,
third party.
Yeah. It'd have to be. It'd have to be, because can't you change the likes of Street Fighter and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would have to be. That's interesting that they didn't. They waited until the Wii U to fucking change it. You know what I mean?
It's interesting though, because it goes to as well, like, you know, that hand holding conversation, like what's easy and what's hand holding and what's catering. But you know, it really is like, you know, we know like fucking 3-year-olds are going to be playing this game. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
have the fucking option. You know.
Yeah, no, I think, again, to tie it all in, I think it's all about playing the game your way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if easy mode is implemented into a game, then in my opinion, the creator of that game kind of says, well, I think it's okay to experience the game this way. And if they didn't want it that way, then you'd be playing fucking Dark Souls or something. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
true.
It's just that kind of way. And like you said, you're playing multiplayer, you just gotta get good. It's just the way it is, you know. But man, Jesus, it's such an interesting topic, because again, I do feel like it can be a little bit taboo. You know, someone's like, "Oh, I played it on easy mode." I'm like, "Cool, fucking." Did you enjoy the game? Yeah. Well, then who gives a fuck what way you played it? You know. That's my own thought on whether someone uses easy mode or not. It's like, well, did you enjoy it? Yeah. It's like, well, fucking
Now, if we
cool.
could just turn on the easy mode for real life, we'd be flying it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
If we could just pop
baby.
an old million into the bank account, maybe make me look
Yeah.
a little bit better and more beautiful. You know?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? It'd be pretty sweet. It's just one of those things, though. It's like, if life had easy mode, it's like, it's funny you're like popping million. The first thing I thought of was if I was rich, but I guarantee you, if I ended up being rich, then it was like just other shit would start bothering me. You just
Oh, 100%.
But
think
I
that-
also, Keith, I would take $1 million or €1 million in the bank
see,
any day.
This is the thing, though, right? Like, it's for me, like, that's the thing. Like, for me, like, my health is my wealth always. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I always, like, that's kind of my number one thing. But, like, do you know,
healthy bank
like,
account.
at the same time, I, you know what? I wouldn't even want fucking money. If someone could just give me a house.
yeah.
Like, I don't mind
Oh,
paying for my own
stop.
bills and my own groceries
Yeah.
and everything else. So if someone just give me a house, that'd be nice. Thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So if
we
anyone's
live in
listening to this
Ireland.
podcast and would like to, patreon.com/press any button. To
What a
continue.
segue. What a segue. Oh, I love it. That was perfect. Oh, fucking brilliant. But come here. I have to update you on, speaking of houses and stuff and money, the game room, my game shed room office cabin log thing, yeah? It has arrived. It is sitting in the front garden looking so fine. But, so I've started initially phase 1, right, which is digging out the garden outside, kind of basically next week. So today is, I don't know what day it is. Next week, Saturday, the build is happening. It's going to be built. So by Sunday of next week, the game room will be built now. It won't be finished, it'll have to be electrics, slabbed, plastered, blah blah blah.
I couldn't wait, man. I would literally
the
just be like
unit.
fucking somehow
Yeah.
building it now.
Yeah. I need help with it is the reason why I do have to wait. But because I'm like,
Do you want
I
me
started,
to pop over?
I see. Yeah, come on up there.
Well, no, but if you want me to help you, like...
Oh no, I'm only messing. No. I've roped in a few people already. Like, so we reckon it's gonna be done in like the Saturday, Sunday. So I
Saturday,
have
Sunday when?
Saturday, Sunday next week.
Fuck.
It's going to be done. Yeah. So I'm currently prepping it. So what I have to do is like, I've an old shed that needs to come down, and then I have to basically build a base for the shed to sit on. And once that's done, then it's just a matter of... See, I'm stupidly lucky that my dad's a carpenter. My sister's partner is a carpenter apprentice.
Oh, amazing.
And then my mum's partner is also a plasterer. He's fairly...
But also,
handy with
you
everything,
come
do you know
across
what
as like a handy person to me. Do you know what I mean?
Well, probably because I'm a tradesperson. I do a lot of
That's
bits and
the
bobs.
pro of you not being able to turn on your phone, is that you can build a house. You know what I mean?
I'll build you a house, but I can't connect the Bluetooth. That is fucking brilliant. Yeah. Look, strengths and weaknesses, Keith. You know what I mean? It's all about balance, man. That's just how it goes, man. You know what I'm saying?
I guess the truth is, in real life, people have easy mode for some things and hard mode for other things, and everyone's different.
Yeah. Like you say, if I say to you, change that radiator in your room, you'd be like, oh, what the fuck? And if you say to me, turn on your mic there, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I love it, man.
A good note to leave it on, I think.
Yeah. Oh, that was great fun, man. That was great fun. That was a good one. But I'm gonna try. I will get back next episode. This is episode 60, I think, by the way.
Oh wow.
Next episode, I will play some of The Witcher on easy mode, and I'll let you know what I think. And you never know, it could be still playing. Could be.
That's what it's all about, guys and gals. You know what I mean? Turn on easy mode, go home, light a candle, pull your Mickey, enjoy your life.
It's just the way it's meant to be.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, brilliant.
You ruined it. You ruined it, and I'm leaving.